This is the Simpli Sisters Podcast. Girl, get in here, settle down, settle in, take up space and breathe. Come in this safe space where we believe in the power of sisterhood. We encourage truth and dialogue that promotes peace, clarity, and freedom. Join us here for conversations for the soul because there is so much to talk about.
Hello, and welcome to Simpli Sisters Podcast. I'm simply Tammy.
And I'm Coach Gayl Benson.
And tonight we will speak to you about intimate partner abuse. And this goes across the demographics and it affects men, women, the LGBTQ community, any age, any race, it doesn't matter, man or woman. And disproportionately, it really affects a lot of women. And, our job here is to inspire you to make changes and be able to identify with some of those things that you may not be thinking about in your life, in your everyday dealings with your spouse, with friends, with family members, and with others. So it is important that we bring this issue to you. A victim is a word that was created, and that word means that you've been affected some kind of way. And there's other definitions for that, but intimate partner abuse goes beyond physical abuse. It's psychological, it's mental. It just goes into so many facets, and we're all affected by it, and I've been affected by it. Coach Benson?
Absolutely. We know sometimes it gets heavy. If you need to step away, please do so. I will say that Tammy and I are not counselors or therapists, but we are two women who have experienced the things that we talk about on a daily basis. And unfortunately, this is one of the things that we have experienced to different levels. When you say the word victim, Tammy, it still makes me feel some kind of way because for a long time, that word has a stigma, to it. And even me myself, I felt like I didn't have the right to have a voice or step forward because I wasn't being physically abused, but it was the emotional and the verbal abuse. And for me to actually say it out loud just this year, just really finding my voice and talking about what I experienced psychologically, during my experience. So that word victim, it's heavy for a lot of people. It's still heavy for me. It's still heavy for me. But I want, our viewers to realize, and the people who are being impacted, by intimate partner abuse, is that it's beyond a title. It's beyond that word. It's your value. It's your livelihood. It's your mental wellness. It's your emotional well-being. And how do you emotionally get regulated, to do life on a daily basis post intimate partner abuse, or while you're even still in it? Some of you may still actively be in it. And we want to offer support in either situation, whether you're actively in it or you're out of it, but there's still a lot of trauma as if you're still in it. You really don't feel like you physically removed yourself, but mentally and emotionally you play a lot of things over in your head, and some things come up that you don't even realize that are tied to the trauma of intimate partner abuse.
Well, let me address this also. I know you all are seeing us in a different format today. We had a little technical difficulties, so we still had to do what we were called to do. And we've since then gotten that taken care of. But so forgive us for this format, but our job is to simply just get this word to you. So Gayl, sometimes people don't realize what they're going through, and they don't understand that they are a victim, and they get used to living in that. And sometimes we get used to living in something and it seems normal. and it's not normal. And we have people who will say to us, hey, our friends, maybe our family, say, hey, well, why did he do that? What's going on? And you're sitting there dumbfounded. I know I was sitting there dumbfounded a couple times. People looking at me, especially in my second marriage, everybody's looking at me like, what in the world are you in and why? And that's not for you. Okay. And I was just this dumb, but things kept happening to let me know that it wasn't for me, and the question is, why was I in it? And why was I continuing these same cycle with similar type people? You got me? So I had to back up and redirect. And as you'll hear me say, my kid said something to me one day, and this light bulb just came on in my head, and you just don't understand how and why people would want to verbally abuse you or speak to you the way they do. And when you're talking about I love you, or you're my friend, or you're my wife, you're my husband, whatever it is, keep the honeymoon going. Take the time to do that, because what happens when you finally realize you're in this, then comes, what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Do you stay? Do you go? Can you go? Where do you go hide? What list of things do I need to know in order for me to move to the next step? And I'll tell you, I'll say it again. I was willing to live in a shed with a porta potty before I'd allow certain things to continue to go on. Okay. And that power and that control that we allow people to have over us, that humiliation, the gaslighting, all of that, and not understanding what is happening to us. But we feel it because our head is hurt and our hair is falling out. We're gaining weight, eating. We don't want to come home. We're sick. We're on medicine. Well, I'm not on medicine, but there are some that are on medicine, and they don't go and tell the doctor, yeah, my husband is ABCD or my wife is ABCD. They walk in there, I have anxiety. Fix me. The pills don't fix you. It's you correcting yourself and getting yourself out of that situation.
You mentioned that before. It's about, having a plan. But when you don't know you need a plan because you have no idea that you're in the forest at the time, you're in the wilderness because you've been conditioned to be in this environment. Let me speak just from my experience. And what I experienced was I was groomed very early. And when you speak about how to, they say, I love you, and you get married, and one minute they doting all over you and just giving you the world. And then the next minute, you don't know what the thing is going to be. Well, I knew most of the time the thing would set him off would be his mother. His mother was a mother. Okay. And I hope you're watching. Because of his emotional trauma as a child. So the I love you was to the extent of what he knew love to be, which he did not see. He did not see. And whatever he did see, it was minuscule, and so those definitions, I encourage people to have these conversations when you're courting and you're dating, gain understanding as to the definitions, definitively what certain things mean to people. This wasn't throughout my entire marriage, when he was well off, financially, well off, wealthy, if you will. When life changed for him, he became somebody I didn't know. So when life changed for him, there was no coping mechanisms, but I was made to feel responsible to try to ease him through his pain while I'm bleeding out from the pain that he was inflicting on me emotionally and psychologically and mentally, and I would even through all of that, I was still trying to work on his wounds. And I needed stitches myself. But we always feel like we'll take care of ourselves later. It's not that bad. I don't think about it. And the one thing I used to say all the time is, I don't pay him no mind. I don't pay him no attention. But at the end of the day, those words were haunting. His voice was haunting. Certain things I do today that I have to remember that I'm not living in that life. There's still some residual things, that are still being worked through. And I remind myself that I am a free woman, free to exercise my right to speak, to do, to take my own life in the direction I want to go. So I encourage men, or even when, and I know it's hard for men to come out and say they're being emotionally or physically or mentally abused by their wives or their significant others. But I'm telling you, these are the stigmas that keep people suffering in silence. And we want to encourage you and remind you that there is support. There is help. Your voice can save your life.
Oh, yes. Well, as we know, nothing about this is easy. Nothing. And I have been through, and I used to say, hey, look, you are hurting me. This is what you're doing, and this is hurting me. But to hear back that, well, you don't want for anything, the bills are paid, you driving a $100,000 car, you driving a whatever you have. That's not the point. And then don't upset me, and then think you can come back and buy me something else to smooth it over. There's a cycle, there's a pattern there's a cycle that goes on. And I wish I could give the order of it, but it comes with the grooming, and then getting, and they position you and get you just right so that you'll do and abide by what it is they want, how they want it. And if you have to say in your marriage, in your relationship, or when you're with your family members, whatever, if you have to say, is this a partnership or are you in this by yourself? Then you are in the wrong thing. Okay? You are in the wrong thing. Really are. So, it's not easy to sit here and talk about this stuff because it brings stuff back up for us.
It
But
is.
as you know, Gayl, my past came back to my front door. And this is how I knew I was better, that had grown, and that I made the right decision. Because when that happened, it was the same. It was the same. And I knew right then that I'd made the best decision for my life. Because what some of the stuff they were saying that's old. I'm not even there anymore. I don't even think about that stuff anymore. But when it disappeared and when it went away, I went right back into who I am and what I'm doing, and it did not bother me one bit. And that's called growth.
Yeah, when their position doesn't change, and I'm so proud of you for how you handled that. And I think that was God just giving you a glimpse, saying, look, because I don't know if we give ourselves enough credit about how much growth and healing that we have done. And we're healing. And in healing, still holding on to some of the residuals of those incidents. But you handled that so well. It was beautiful. And I'm proud of you for that. Salvation in the silence. Like when we was done, my freedom looked so appetizing and attractive to me when I embraced my freedom. And I no longer did the verbal sparring because that fed him. I would argue with him, like go toe to toe with him, because I felt like that was me. I'm not laying down and taking this, It was just so verbally volatile and toxic. And that fed him when I stopped doing it. And he would be talking or whatever, and I'd just be looking at him, and I would either start laughing or I would just be blinking and looking at him like, you done? Like, are we done here? When you take your life into your hands, when you see a glimpse of peace, you see, oh my God, and to exhale, like, I could have this every day, and there will be times, and I know there's a lot of women, I've been in your shoes where you looking at your house, your cars, the bank statements, and you like, I'm not going to jump out here and be on a struggle bus. Baby, listen, God don't promise you struggle. If that's all the credit you give God, then I need you to revisit some other things in your faith walk, because there is nothing that I would do to stay where I was, I get on the struggle bus because I know how to take care of myself and take care of my children. But the things my kids were seeing, the things my kids were hearing. My youngest daughter was still home at the time, but when we factor in what our future looks like, I promise you, you have a future. You can live beyond those walls. You can live beyond that circumstance. There is so much more waiting for you. It's just a matter of you digging in deep and finding the value for yourself and for your own voice, for your safety, for your sake. If you have children, for your children's sake. There is a life waiting for you. You just got to believe that you have the strength to start taking that step one step at a time.
I agree. And on the other side, we'll continue to address this. I think you'll find that there's more we have to say. We always make it happen beautifully. So we love you, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, sis.
Welcome back to the second part of this episode. And this time we'll talk about the cycle of abuse. And the cycle follows a pattern, and I wrote it here. It's the tension building. That's the tension, which leads to reconciliation, which is called the honeymoon phase, and then the calm. Okay. And the cycle can make the abuse feel intermittent and confusing, keeping victims hopeful it will stop. So there's a problem, the hopeful. The problem is the recognition of the cycle and noting that each time something goes wrong. As a matter of fact, we always tell you about journaling. Every time something goes wrong, write down what happened. Write down what was said, why it was said, what was done, and what happened afterwards. And how did you feel? And you know what? In my book, It's Guide to Living, in that book, it talks about that exact thing. So grab that book, go and get it. This information is in there. And we keep telling you, there are early warning signs when this stuff is going on. You know, before you marry somebody, when you're in a friendship or relationship, if you are not feeling good about it, stop, take a look at it, and move away from it before you go get into it. Because once you get married, you are locked.
You got to fight to get
down.
out.
And not only do you have to fight to get out, now you all have all this stuff intertwined, all the threats, and all this stuff goes on. And why even get yourself into the situation? And then this is what gets me, is misunderstanding his aggressive behavior and thinking that it's love and care and protection. Some people aren't taught that, but that's the way we just talked about.
They love bomb you. And then you begin to look for that affinity after the offense, whether it was verbal, emotional, psychological, and then most often after physical abuse. And I'll say this before I continue, because don't be emailing me or going in the comments, because no, Tam and I are not licensed credentialed counselors, therapists, or psychologists.
Correct.
But we are two women who have lived through these experiences to our own degrees and magnitudes. So yes, we are able to speak to these instances because we've lived through them. So when I tell you, when we speak to you, we are coming from a place of love, with a lot of heavy experience, and the circles in which we are in and the people that we have access to and exposure to, we do have access to experts that we can refer you to should you need additional help and professional guidance. Don't shy away from the conversations. I said earlier, if this is really true, if this is a heavy topic, and it won't be for everybody, but we want you to know that we are planting the seeds that help is here. Your future is bright. We just have to equip you with the tools to start your.
Yes.
If you feel like the relationship that you're in, and I want to say you feel like, because we need to examine emotions here. Because the emotions you have, are they truly your emotions, or is it what you've been conditioned to believe that you feel?
Right.
Understand?
Right.
Because we often think that we can love people through. We can love them through what they don't have. We can love them past the pain.
Right.
And you're loving people past the pain while you are broken down and
being destroyed
yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize how much of you that you're broken trying to fix something that's broken. So we have to really get in a place where we have conversations with ourselves and understand, where did we lose the value for ourselves? Because the lady said, you abandoned me, love don't live here anymore.
Right.
Because once you abandon love and respect for me, just as your partner, as your wife, your significant other, by using these tactics, these control tactics on me, there is no respect there for me as a human being, let alone your partner in life. So we are not telling you to pack your stuff and run out the door. But if you feel like your life is in danger, if you feel like that your whole being and humanity is being beat down with words, because there are some people that love to verbal spar with you and spew venom on you, and that is what they love. That's what they do. You have to rethink, where did you lose the value for yourself? Because it starts inside of us as to why we're accepting it. What makes us think we can love them past their own pain? We can't even recognize our own pain.
Yes, that's exactly right.
We can't even recognize and stand up for our own pain, but we slide to the background and we stand up and champion for someone else, because sometimes we think that's what we're supposed to do, because that's our husband, that's our significant other,
companion.
that's your companion. But that is when I promise you that that's not true, because a true partnership, you honor one another and your position and your roles in that partnership.
Right, correct.
Whether it's a union, whether it's nuptials, whether it's a marriage or a partnership, relationship, whatever ship you in and on, the ship got to be honored and respected on both sides, whether you at the helm of the boat or in the back. If you down and you feel like you in the brig every day and you in prison, there is a serious problem there. You cannot live in the brig. You were not created to be in the brig. When I say brig, the brig is a jail. On the ship, the brig is the jail. And if you feel like you're in bondage and you're in jail and you got to we said this in another episode, you got to be in.
Right.
That's not your portion.
Right.
So how do you plan to get counseling? How do you plan to go to counseling and be honest? Because you could go to therapy and shovel all kind of BS. I've done it. I'm not telling you something I don't know. I went to a 14-week intense group counseling therapy, and I was lying for 6 of the 14 weeks.
Lying. Yeah.
For 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Until I had to hit a brick wall to understand I wasn't going to get the help I needed if I wasn't going to be honest. And I'm not helping them. They can't help me if I can't tell them the truth. So please, your family and your cousins, they haven't been able to fix it for you thus far. You have to find a licensed credentialed specialist that is trained to help you identify your tools that will help you in that environment that you're in that relationship, because only you can decide when it's time to leave.
Protections. And do understand that we understand that, we can sit here and talk to you about it. And we're supposed to, because the divine has asked us to. But note this, we do understand how hard it is to move back, move out, get away from. We do. We understand that some of the spouses you have or companions or whomever may not want you to go to counseling. And they're going to tell you, oh,
Because ain't nothing wrong with me.
going on.
It might be something wrong with you, but ain't nothing wrong with me.
You know, go to counseling for what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's another type of control. And if you got to have a spouse or someone by your side who's jealous and likes to isolate you from your friends, monitor your phone, you on the phone, monitor your calls, have to look at your texts. My next spouse, they should be free to take my phone to bed, California, and come back with it. You understand what I'm saying?
And y'all be responsible. Don't be out here doing creep dog stuff because that's just fueling the damn fire. It's not even worth. It's not worth it. So if you out here doing creep doggy stuff, I mean, get your life together. Get your life together. And if you got enough umption and audacity to do that, why are you still there? Quit creep dogging and go make it a reality, or just be by yourself, whatever. And I'm just speaking out of, and I'm effing it up because I get frustrated when I hear people hollering for help and they holler victimization, but then don't realize the things that we're doing that's adding to the situation. We all have a responsibility to look at ourselves. We're perpetuating it. So what are we doing? Am I co-signing somebody that's being oppressive and abusive? Absolutely not. But I also know that there is no perfect person because I know me and I know it was some stuff. It didn't have to do with other people, anything outside of my mouth, but my mouth though. My mouth fueled it. And me, I thought that was me not laying down, taking it by spewing venom back at him instead of stopping the madness, turning that faucet off, stop drinking from that water hose it wasn't water, it was fire, and walk away. Change, I had to change. I was so far into it that I realized I had to change my habits.
Right.
So we want you to understand there's an outlet for you to learn how to change your habits and start being able to plan and look forward to your future.
And two things, you have to have a safety plan and you have to have a plan. Your safety plan has to be so you can be somewhere where you are safe.
Absolutely.
Okay. And somewhere where you don't bring harm to your family or your friends. Not into, and I go into places, I can't say where, anything like that. These women are there because they had to get away from where they were living and residing. And yes, I do. I go there and I talk to them and I know safe houses, basically a safe house. And just to see the women there with now nothing but maybe a jacket,
The clothes on their
back. And it is me, it's emotional, it makes me want to cry. But that experience right there will humble you a whole lot. Now, in addition to a safety plan, okay, there's a number you can call. And let me go back. I want to go back to this before I give you the number. Listen, stop and say, why is this person? Why have I heard this numerous times?
Don't be defensive.
Don't just say, don't defend the other person. You don't even have to say anything. When somebody says something to you, that's for you to decide that, hey, wait, this is being said. This is being said to me too much. Okay? I remember my children saying to me, much longer you gonna let that happen? And how that sent something through me because my kids saw something I didn't even see. And I stepped back and I was like, oh, yeah, they were right. But anyway, this stuff is serious. It's real. We have a hotline number that is available for you all. And we also have a crisis that you can text the word home to. And that number is 74171.
And we also have the a hotline. We often open it up and tell you to email us and things and such, but just for your own confidentiality, you may not want us to know what's going on with you. And that's perfectly fine. But there is a hotline. It's a toll-free number that you can call, and it's 1-800-799-7233. Just reach out. They are waiting for your call, and they'll know exactly how to direct you once you just call and tell them what is happening, what you need help with. And that same line, you can also text the word BEGIN, BEGIN, to 88788. That will also get you linked up to this hotline that will give you resources to help you with your situation, whether it's counseling, whether it's a safe place somehow for you to start over. The resources are there. We encourage you because we want you to be the best you can possibly be.
Yes, we do.
Simply Tammy and I are here to be of service to you. That is what we have been ordered to do.
Yes.
Please visit our website at www.simplysisтерspodcast.com. You can check out Simply Tammy. She has a wonderful tool available for you, A Woman's Guide to Living the Fight Up. Please tap into that resource and allow it to inspire you to walk into your next steps and your next best chapters. You can go on and contact us on either of our websites. Please continue to come and visit with us and spend this time with us every Tuesday here on YouTube and the other podcast platforms.
Right.
Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing the Simpli Sisters podcast with someone that you love. We welcome you all into the Simply Circle family. You do not have to do life alone. Thank you for being here. We can't wait to see you next week. Until then, it's so much to talk about, but we want you to make things happen beautifully. We love you.